Tesla shares up in the pre-market as they continue to march toward a record high, which would be about 414. Today at Morgan Stanley's Adam Jonas reiterates the stock is a top pick, takes his target to 400. He was at 310, maintains an overweight, says Elon Musk's entry into the political sphere has expanded investor thinking around Tesla's fundamental outlook. Jimmy thinks the aperture is going to expand way beyond cars.
Yeah, look, that's the whole, you can't make it on cars. This, particularly with this most recent rally, which is really predicated upon the company being much more than anything involving vehicles, and certainly has to own self-drive. Yeah, David, I don't like, I'm a big fan of Jonas.
Yes.
But I don't like when you come in after this big run and you start talking about the rally and why the stock should go from 310 up to 400. I'm questioning a lot of things this morning, and I don't want the people I regard as late.
You feel as though analysts are just coming up with price targets, not based on fundamentals, but because they feel like, well, the stock's going to go up on momentum?
I saw a ServiceNow one today.
Yeah.
And I'm beleaguered by these because people are going to come in today and say, hey, listen, we're really fine. I mean, look, he just took his price target from 310 to 400. David, I mean, the stock was at 200. Where was the price target boost there?
Well, to be fair to Adam, he was at 310 way before it got to the
That's true. I do feel bad. Adam is probably the most rigorous. I'm just saying that there are people who will come in today and say I'm early on Tesla, and I fear that they'll get hurt, that there'll be a better level to buy Tesla than this one.
Your typical reminder from me about Elon Musk's the value of his stake in Tesla at 392. What he currently owns would be worth $161 billion. But then there's the compensation package from 2018, which I've mentioned many times, 303.96 million shares. That's worth $112 billion at 392. So let's assume he wins an appeal, which I think many people will assume he will when that appeal gets heard of Chancellor McCormick. 161 billion plus 112 billion. That's just Tesla. That's not SpaceX. That's not XAI, by the way, where he's now got a 50+ billion valuation going up from there.
Now, your focus is just on his wealth.
That's it, just his wealth. Not on his power in Washington.
You need self-driving. You need China.
No, we talk about the fundamentals of Tesla so many times, and Optimus. Obviously, the robots are so important. Only going to become more so.
And the new videos of the Optimus, the robot. Again, remember, anything.
Show me a new video. There it is.
Anything we can do, they can do better. And Jensen's most recent talk on the big interview with Wire, actually, very interesting. He said, they used to be able to perceive, now they can't perceive, and now they can reason. And when they can reason, we really have to call into question us.
Well, when Sam Altman's talking about AGI in the next couple of years, which is the focus of a lot of debate, but I do think it's interesting because we had the Optimus video here. We had Sora yesterday out of OpenAI.
Right.
We have this Google Quantum News. I mean, the flow of innovation is getting insane.
Right, and this is why these stocks are hard to sell. Why are we selling some Alphabet for the Charitable Trust? I mean, you're up so much. I'm not going to just sit here and let it ride. It's just up too much.
I'm not sure
it's okay.
I'm not sure what we're looking
Remember
at
that,
there.
David, talking about the idea that something's up too much and I have to do some selling? Or is that just ridiculous? Am I just like old school, pre-knowledge
That's
factory?
OpenAI. That's Sora, where you basically say, make this image for me.
Yeah, but address my issue.
We're going to show some of that for you later. Yes, you are old and out of touch. There you go.
That wasn't how I thought he'd address it.
Just trying to keep up with the things we're watching with our own eyes.
I think that there were so many great things.
Quantum computing is real.
I remember you telling me the Copper Mountain, that was the way to go. Remember Copper Mountain?
Copper Mountain.
That was one of these 1999.
Let's move on to Tesla, please. What do we know about these new, cheaper models?
We think we have confirmation from the head of Tesla's IR, their investor relations division, because Deutsche Bank put out a note saying that they spoke to people inside at Tesla, and they are confirming a sub 30,000 model next year. Deutsche Bank calling it Model Q. We don't know what the real model will be called. But again, after the EV credit, without that EV credit, about $37,500. But if that EV credit stays in, you're getting a sub 30,000 simplified model that's able to use the same manufacturing plant that Tesla already has up to keep costs low. Again, really excited for a sub 30.
And the stock's almost $400 a share. How about that?
I want to get to some of these markets because underneath the surface, a lot is moving. First up, Tesla. So yesterday, we sort of got confirmation through a Deutsche Bank note that Tesla's first sub $30,000 EV was coming next year. Then today, Morgan Stanley goes up to $400 on the stock from $320 and sort of reiterates it as its top pick. Again, up 4% on the day.
Alphabet at the top of the NASDAQ after it launched its latest quantum chip. It's called Willow. Alphabet said this marks a major breakthrough in the field of quantum computing. The news earning a nod from Elon Musk, the Tesla CEO responding with a wow to Google's CEO Sundar Pichai's post on X when he announced Willow. There's Alphabet up more than 5%. Musk's EV company Tesla also getting a wow reaction from Morgan Stanley. Famed analyst Adam Jonas raising his price target to $400 from $310. He's calling it his top pick with a buy rating. Jonas wrote that, quote, Musk's entry into the political sphere has expanded investor thinking around Tesla's fundamental outlook. And there is enthusiasm for all things AI, data centers, renewable energy, robotics, and onshoring. There is Tesla up more than 3.5%.
We've also got a news alert on GM. Steve Kovac has details. Steve?
Hey there, John. Yeah, GM is getting out of the robotaxi business. We just got a release here from General Motors saying Cruise, that's a self-driving division that it has a majority stake in, they're going to refocus that team to focus on personal vehicles, autonomous driving, as opposed to building the fleet of robotaxis that had been testing out there in San Francisco before that accident that involved it hitting a pedestrian out there in San Francisco. Since then, they've scaled back their plans, tried to relaunch, and now it looks like they're just completely getting out of this business. Also in this press release, they note that GM did own 90% of Cruise, and after some restructuring with shareholders of Cruise, it'll own more than 97% of that self-driving division. And a lot of those teams, it looks like, are going to be restructured just to focus on GM personal vehicles, not a fleet of robotaxis. We see shares reacting here on that news, up 3%, guys.
We're going to take a look at Tesla and see if there's any reaction there as well.
That's another one.
All right, Steve.
GM getting rid of Cruise or stopping the spending, that's $1 billion once the plan is completed in money that it won't spend on Cruise, which is a good thing.
It's a good thing. And GM has actually been one of the shining spots within the automotive industry. Everyone compares this to this massive run that Tesla had, but you only really have to compare it to Ford. And I'd rather GM than Ford.
Please leave a like on this video so more people will see it. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.